good. More singing.
37 years ago, it's done put a spell on me.
I know.
A spell where when I'm talking, I'm singing it with glee. But when you're always singing, you got to live alone. That's why I made this mountain shack my home.
That's great. Can you just
when
kind of
you're
ready?
on the mountain, there's lots to be feared. That's why this here old mountain goes prepare.
Hello again. So, if you recognize what the movie clip was from, you already know what I'm going to be talking about today. So, Hoodwinked. I finally watched that actually a few weeks ago, and I just want to give my thoughts on it now. This movie does two things that I enjoy. The first one is it actually does the Rashomon effect that Matthew talked about earlier on his channel. Okay, it was the Mad Hatter that talked about it, but you get the idea. We have these four characters. We have Little Red, we have the Granny, we have the Big Bad Wolf, and we have the Lumberjack, and all four of them are giving their own version of this story. And the story is the story of Little Red Riding Hood. But the second thing that I like about this movie is the fact that it's a different version of Little Red. It's the same basic story. It's Little Red going to Granny's house, the Big Bad Wolf interrupting her, the Lumberjack coming in after the Big Bad Wolf had broken into Granny's house and disguised himself as her, and all that kind of stuff. But it is a very different version of that story. The Big Bad Wolf isn't necessarily big or bad, Granny isn't the usual Granny. Little Red is a little more spunky than people are used to, unless of course they know Into the Woods, and the Lumberjack is, well, not really a lumberjack. I'm not going to give away too many details because that's what watching the movie is for, but it is a very different version of this fairly well-known tale. But the thing about this movie is that it is a very different version. It does the Rashomon effect, but that's only about half of the movie. It might be slightly more than half, but the fact is, once the story is done, once you know what happened, there's still more movie to watch. So in some ways it shows what happens after the story. And it's after this particular version, so it's different than it probably would have been had it been the actual version that everybody knows. For one thing, in the actual version, the wolf gets its stomach opened with rocks inside it and then some... This is not the grim version of Little Red Riding Hood. So overall, I liked this movie. I liked the different version of the story. I liked the use of the Rashomon effect as these four very different characters told their side of the story. And overall, I just really like the characters. I love the new take on Granny, I love the new take on the Big Bad Wolf, I love the new take on Lumberjack, and I like the version of Little Red played by Anne Hathaway. And while I'm talking about Anne Hathaway, I should also mention that Glenn Close is the Granny and Patrick Warburton is the Wolf. Both of which put in a very, very good performance, and I enjoy watching them immensely. And there's also the squirrel.
Shopping! Yeah, baby!
Go get him, boy.
Squirrel's pretty hilarious. So, yes, this is a movie that I would recommend going to see. So that's what I think of the movie Hoodwinked. I am curious as to what you think. Let me know down in the comments. And I can't think of a song to whistle for you. And I apologize. But I will see you all next time.